CBS Sports coverage of the 56th Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic is sponsored by
Wimberly waiting to kick. John Wimberly with Simmons and Biggins back for A&M.
The teams now lined up to begin the second half of play, and as we begin playing.
And another note of interest coming out now at halftime. Casey Weldon's 3 interceptions. This is the first time in his career he has thrown 3 interceptions in a game. The Aggies will have the football first in the second half. Wimberly puts the toe to it. Simmons from the 1. Got the wedge in front. He fumbled the football. And it looks like Florida State has it. We now have as many turnovers in this game as we do points. 9 turnovers in the game.
Not exactly what R.C. Slocum was looking for in the second half. Not a vicious hit. But once again, it appears that the ball, and I don't know why, but the ball is so slippery, at least a little bit of contact, and the ball comes popping out.
Reggie Freeman on the recovery for Florida State from the 30 of A&M. Inside, Edgar Bennett. Met head-on by Atkinson. Drives him back. They'll give him forward progress for 2. Jason Atkinson, a sophomore and the top tackler for the Aggies. He went to Westfield High School in the Houston area. His high school coach, Emory Ballard, who back in the 70s was a Texas A&M head coach and the man responsible for bringing R.C. Slocum on the staff for the first time at A&M. So Emory Ballard in the high school ranks now sending Atkinson to the Aggies. Here's 2nd and 8. Weldon with great time and fires it to Baker at the 14.
Casey Weldon pass to number 1, Shannon Baker.
It's a 13-yard gain and a good pass by Weldon.
Well, you heard me say in the first half that it was important, I thought, for Florida State to stay with their passing. You know, one of the reasons, very simply, is that's what they do best, is throw the football. That time, Weldon had plenty of time. A&M sent no backers after him, no blitzes. Plenty of time, let his man get open, and he gunned the football to him.
First down, first minute of the 3rd quarter. Rolling left. Baker is the man on that side. Pump fake to Baker. Now they throw it his way. He jumps up and incomplete. Derek Frazier on the coverage.
Second down 10 from the 15.
All you need is 1 foot in college football. And it appears that his left foot, actually, it appears his left foot was maybe 2 feet inside. That looked like a good catch. Looked like it should have been a touchdown.
The only thing I can say, and you can't tell by that angle, is he may not have had full possession of it. Looked like he was struggling to hold on to it.
Well, we know his left foot's going to be in bounds, so let's see if we can see if he has possession.
See, right in there, the ball is...
It appears the ground, if he did fumble it, Jim, it appeared the ground knocked it out.
2nd and 10. And Jackson gets to the right side. Jackson slashes back to the 2-yard line. And a flag down back in the offensive backfield.
Sean Jackson on the carry. A flag is down near the 18-yard line. Holding will be called against Florida State.
Well, if you don't fumble it, you throw an interception, and now it's... Now it appears that if you're going to hold on to it, now you're going to start having penalties. I mean, to say this has been a sloppy game is a major understatement, but an excellent run, well-blocked play, but holding called.
It's the 8th penalty against Florida State in this game. Second down at 22 from the 27. Slot formation to the left. Short drop, Weldon. Ball is almost picked off by Bates. That ball was deflected.
Deflected at the line of scrimmage. You know, defensive linemen are taught, Jim, if you're beat on a pass rush, when you feel like you're beaten, get your hands up, and if the ball comes, maybe you'll knock it down. I think that time that's exactly what happened. Weldon sets up a short set. Now look, there's the drop. There's 97 Wheeler, gets his old big paw up and knocks it down.
3rd and 22. It off to Jackson. Atkinson, Coriat, and Marlon Haynes all helped trip him up. Got the football right into the middle of the field, where the Seminoles will attempt a field goal. Dan Mowry is the kicker coming onto the field. You have to be wise to the trickery of Bowden in this situation. Remember, out of the field goal formation, they threw a touchdown on a shuffle pass against Michigan.
Wins at his back. I think he'll kick this one.
42 yards, and this one just wide.
The field goal attempt failed. As the score remains, Florida State 7, Texas A&M 2.
So Florida State gets the early turnover from the Aggies, but they fail to score off of it.
And we have an official timeout.
First down, A&M from the 25. Greg Hill past the first wave and out to the 35. A 10-yard sprint.
And out to number 27, Greg Hill.
Here's a guy who rushed for over 1,200 yards on the season. The first Aggie, the first ever in the Southwest Conference to rush for over 1,000 yards as a freshman. Easily the newcomer of the year offensively in the Southwest. Now with 10 carries for 72 yards. He has had the football slip through his fingers 3 times. And Doug Carter picks up the yard for the first.
Handoff went to 32, Doug Carter.
He had a chance to visit with Greg Hill. He said it was as satisfying for him this year, gaining his 1,200 yards as a freshman. He can only imagine as satisfying as what Barry Sanders must have felt his Heisman Trophy winning year.
He's a, you know, when you talk to him, he had the hat. It's you know, it's GHT, right. Greg Hill time. And confident kid and loves what he's doing, loves where he is.
Broke Earl Campbell's freshman mark in the conference. Here he is again. On the first down pitch. Runs out of room on the short side of the field for about 3.
You know, if we continue to see this kind of play, Jim, where the defenses, you know, maybe they give a 5-yarder, but then they come back and stop everything, you know, it might come down to a gadget. We might see a gadget later on in this game that actually is going to win this football game. I wouldn't be surprised considering how sloppily it's been played so far.
2nd and 7. Now out of a split backfield. Richardson. Ball deflected across the middle. And I believe it touched an offensive lineman first. And that'll go against the Aggies.
Flag down near the 35-yard line after the incomplete pass.
Illegal touching on the offense, 5-yard penalty, loss of down, 3rd down.
Our officiating crew today from the Western Athletic Conference, WAC officials. So it'll be third and 12 for A&M.
This is the position, and we talked earlier to Mickey Andrews, this is exactly where he felt if he could keep the Aggies in a 3rd down situation in a long yardage, 2nd and long, 3rd, makes no, if he can keep them in a 3rd and long yardage situation, he feels like they then are playing into his hands because he does not have that much respect for the Aggies and their ability to throw the football.
Well, it's a team, a defense that has faced the likes of Ty Detmer, Elvis Gerback, Will Furr, the outstanding quarterback from Virginia Tech, Shane Matthews, Gino Toretta. So they've played some good ones. Here on 3rd and 12, dumping it across the middle. Hill fumbles again for the 4th time, and it's a Florida State recovery.
That was the same play that was called the last time for illegal touching. What A&M is doing is letting the Florida State Seminoles rush the quarterback Richardson. Notice the lineman way out now. Let him in. Now delay a back over the middle, and it's just a delay screen. Hill, you'd think after 3 fumbles now, you got to say, when I get my hands on this baby, I'm going to wrap it up, put 2 hands on it, take it home real kind of careful like, but you can see right there, you mount no drives when you continue to turn the ball over.
Kirk Carruthers put the hit on Hill to knock it loose, and Errol McCorvey on the recovery. 11:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. 7-2 Florida State from the A&M 41. Weldon hit when he threw it. Oh, Sam Adams. Here comes the big freshman. True freshman.
Talk about talent. This was the #1 recruit in the state of Texas. Left in, true freshman Adams. Down inside, number 95. Just straight up inside. I mean, he just got between Baker, the center, and Morris, the right guard, and got right in Casey Weldon's face that time.
Sam Adams Sr. His father was an offensive lineman for New England and New Orleans. 8 years with New England in all. He was the guard opposite of John Hanna. Now 2nd and 10. And near the 1st down, it's Sean Jackson. Gain of 7.
Sean Jackson. Out of bounds near the 33-yard line.
Love this college football, Jim. I have always been a huge fan of college football. Being the Cotton Bowl and to see that, you know, if you see that tomahawk on television, you always want to experience it. And the crowd noise, I mean, it's so different than professional football. It's just a real pleasure to be here and experience this.
Timeout called by Weldon at the line.
Got good lungs, doesn't he?
I'm telling you, didn't even have the mic on and we could hear him up here. 11:05 to go in the 3rd. Seminoles in A&M territory. Goals from the 33 of A&M.
Only converted 1 of 7 so far.
Jackson hit near the marker, near the 1st down yardage at the 31. Patrick Bates and Mark Wheeler combining on the blow.
Hey, you look at this A&M defense, and you're looking at the #1 ranked defense national. I mean, this is the very best unit, and I found it surprising that when we talked to their players and we talked to their defensive coordinator, Bob Davie, and R.C. Slocum, you know, it was almost like they did not want Florida State to know that they were the #1 defense. It was like, it's something we're proud of, but we don't want it to be used against us.
Yeah, they were afraid it was going to work against them, that it would either motivate the Florida State offense to stick it to the wrecking crew, or the Florida State defense would rise and say, wait a minute, we're the better defense. So they've been downplaying that all week.
But you can see today, as I've said often, you see the speed in the secondary and the linebackers, which is outstanding. And then you look on the Florida State side, and I don't see a lot of difference there. Equally very speedy.
They add 8 seconds to the game clock. 10:56 to go in the 3rd. And it's 4th and inches, and again, Florida State will go for it.
You know, if you wanted to run a gadget, Jim Nance, this is the perfect time to do it.
Let's see how prophetic you are. Edgar Bennett straight ahead for the first down.
Well, they didn't fumble, so that's about as good as a gadget.
That's right. You can almost count that as a gadget play
Really?
today. They're the odd plays out. Is a clean play.
You know, if you can't run the football, I'll tell you something about gadgets or fancy plays. They're all set by a team being able to establish the run. If you can't run the football, you can throw every gadget you have out the window because no one respects it. You have to be able to run the football to be able to utilize the gadgets.
Well, they're going to measure again. I've already awarded them the first down. I thought he gained about a full yard. And the football rest right, well, just short of the 30-yard line stripe. Quentin Coriat hit him, but I'm afraid it was too late for the Aggies for their sake.
Coriat, considered by many a top 10, I guess you would say. There's your first down. Top 10 prospect in the draft coming, Jim, coming out.
We saw one guy had him number 2, Terry. Remember that?
Yeah, look at on the left of your screen, over the top comes Coriat, number 44. I always heard if you left your feet, you really weren't a football player. I don't tell him I said that, but that's.
I don't think you want to tell him that at all.
Some of the stuff I've heard.
Bennett picks up the first down. Florida State now operates from the 30. Jackson. Oh, and Coriat was the man who grabbed him by the foot. He's a guy who Coach Bob Davie, the defensive coordinator, told us really by the end of the year was starting to play where he really let it go.
Early 44 left center of your screen coming inside. Actually, that's a leg whip, but he didn't mean to do it. But Coriat early in the season was timid, sitting, waiting. And then later on in the season, he finally, Davey got him and said, just turn it loose, let it happen. And now he is the primary rush guy for these linebackers of A&M.
Don't be afraid to make a mistake, they told him. And here's another mistake. Buckley trying to chase it down, and it's out of bounds. Florida State football. Mishap on the exchange.
Look at
Weldon to Jackson.
I wonder what Bobby's thinking. We're trying to run the football. We've thrown a lot of interceptions, so we're going to run it. We're not going to throw it a lot.
The fumble goes out of bounds at the 36.
And now we've seen it on the ground twice already. It's a good exchange, just a counter draw. But what happens actually that time, Jackson ran into Weldon, and then the ball just starts spinning.
Marcus Buckley had a great play on it, but slipping on the wet turf, got away from him. 3rd and 16. Mark Wheeler was in on that exchange, also causing trouble. Of course, the fumble. Atkinson blitzing. Someone picks him up. Now Wheeler chasing after him. And here's the pass that will lose yardage to Edgar Bennett back at the 45. Loss of 9.
You know, you're going to see a. I want you. I'm not even going to. I want you to just look in this area and just show me anyone that's going to try to help Weldon, the quarterback. Watch this. There comes your blitz inside. Look at. There's no one. Stop it right there. Look at. There is no one over there to help him out, and he's going to his right.
Florida State lost 15 yards on its last 3 plays, and now Player kicks it into the end zone. Bring it out to the 20 for the Aggies with 9:14 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
That will be first down for the Aggies. 1st and 10 from the 20.
Well, this Saturday, CBS Sports presents live semifinal coverage of the National Football Conference playoffs, the divisional round. The Falcons and the Redskins, 12 noon Saturday with the NFL Today. Terry, you'll be on hand for that. Big Vern and Dan Fouts for the call of that game. And then later that afternoon, Billy Packer and I will be at Champaign, Illinois for UConn and the Illini. College Hoops, Saturday on CBS. McAfee with a good piece of running. And look out, official. Put McAfee into the backfield, and you know, Hill, with the troubles he's had today, just holding on.
Well, if you go back to the objective that Arsley Slocum, the head coach of the Aggies, had for this game about establishing a national ranking and a promise for A&M, the turnovers have killed him, and Hill has been the primary guy that's popped up the football.
Second down, 2. Randy Simmons has the first. Terry, you were telling me Simmons was a player you remember being recruited out of McKinney, Texas when he came out of high school. Now he's closing his career today.
Yeah, he was, living in the Fort Worth area in Roanoke. Actually, I keep up with this Texas football because, I mean, everybody in the world comes in here. And I remember Simmons coming out of high school in Rushford. God, I don't know how many yards, 2,000 yards. He was a fullback, natural fullback. And now he's finishing out his season, his career at A&M. Outstanding career.
First and 10. Here he is, Simmons.
Look at this.
That's a nice run.
There you go.
It's a gain of about 11.
McKinney just a little bit over the hill. Actually, you can see McKinney from here, but excellent job that time by Simmons. You know, the Aggies do not have a natural fullback. They actually, all of these kids were tailbacks coming out of high school. That's why a lot of times they'll go 2 tight ends or even motion one of their tight ends and lead him in the hole, because none of these kids are natural fullbacks.
First down and 10. McAfee to the 50. Give him 7 on that carry. Keith Alex, the right tackle, with a nice block, and Simmons also the fullback.
Yeah, when you look at the blocking of the offensive lineman of A&M, Alex 67 right tackle, Ellis Orders the 57. It's basic man-to-man blocking, nothing fancy. Just put your helmet on them and drive them off the football. Excellent job by the entire right side of the A&M line.
Second and 3. High formation for the Aggies. And the option with McAfee, and a good read by Buckley. No gain for Texas A&M.
You had 2 blockers that time leading out front, but the problem was there were 3 men supporting. When you have 3-on-2, defense wins. Buckley, not known to be a great tackler, read it, got up, made the stop.
Think he's coming out this year, Terry, in the draft? He's only a junior.
I hear there might, there's always talk of salary cap, and hey, if I've got 12 interceptions, that'll be a hard year to beat. He'll be a first rounder and make himself some major dollars, so I would think he would.
Third and 4.
Blitz.
Now Carruthers comes in on Richardson. He gets away, and McAfee can't handle it. A&M will have to punt. Sterling Palmer and Kirk Carruthers forced Richardson to roll out to the right, flushed him right out.
When you run the option, Jim, one of the worst things about an option offense is that it is not a good offense to run when you're passing and have to pick up blitzes, because the kids just don't understand it. It would be easier for Weldon and his receivers to run a passing offense against blitzes than it would be for the A&M Aggies.
David Davis.
There's Buckley. He's also the punt returner. He was quoted in one Florida paper this week as saying he's 95% certain he'll turn pro. We talked to him about it. He said he was misquoted. So now from the 6. Oh, they corral him at the 1.
Ken Alexander.
Steve Kinney. Back there for A&M, 45-yard punt, a loss of 4 on the return. Florida State will have possession at the 1 when we come back. Change to go in the 3rd. You smell trouble here, Terry.
Yeah, this makes me nervous. You got a bad field, a wet ball, a lot of turnovers. Everyone gets a little tight right now. Oh.
That is not a safety. They give Bennett the progress to the 1, and there is a flag on the field. Antonio Shorter, freshman from Houston, came up to make the play on Edgar Bennett.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure on the offense. Repeat first down.
Now you move it back half the distance. And I repeat my statement earlier. As a player, the one place I never wanted to be was in a, really, this is a hostile territory environment. They only have 6,000 Florida State Seminole fans here. Ball on the 1 yard, a lot of fumbles, wet.
Shannon Baker at the 7. Impounded to the ground right away by Derek Frazier.
Look at this. This is right. Look at behind, right in 3 feet in the end zone. Fired out. Pray to goodness you don't have it 1 foot behind the receiver. If you do, Frazier picks it off and walks in for an easy touchdown.
Second down and 5. Jackson slashing back to the middle, picking up the first, and galloping to the 18-yard line. A run of 11.
In the eye back, notice the toss. Jackson looking right, sees the linebacker sitting there waiting on him. Coriat says, whoops, the flow goes too wide. A great back always cuts against the flow. That's what he did. That's how he got the first down.
76 yards rushing now for Sean Jackson. Only a sophomore from New Orleans. First down for the Seminoles. Play is ruled dead right away.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure on the offense.
In a wild one, East Carolina finishes a Cinderella season for them, beating North Carolina State. And that surprises me right there. Cal over Clemson. Clemson usually a good bowl team.
Good. When you think of Clemson Tigers, Clemson knows I'm from the South. I put a P in it, Clemson. But you always think of great defense.
First and 15. Weldon to the right side, short of Shannon Baker.
He's having trouble. I watched Casey all the way that time. He's having a hard time. There must be a wind. You know, we were down there earlier. Jim, this wind looks like it's at your back, but it moves from right to left. He's throwing out in that area, and it looks like if you don't snap the ball off in a strong wind or in tight conditions like this, if you don't have a tight spiral, wind gets it and takes it right into the turf.
Only 68 yards throwing, with the career-high 3 interceptions against the wrecking crew. Second and 15. Jackson hesitated, waiting for the blocking to unfold for him, but nothing developed. Otis Neely bumps him out.
Back in the backfield. Now look, everyone's staying to the inside. Notice this, trying to get wide, but there's Neely, 56. Weak side linebacker. You'll always see Neely lined up opposite the tight end. Quickness, speed, those are the things that both of these teams represent.
Third and 14. Florida State only 1 of 9 on third down. And they won't get this one either. Sean Jackson wrapped up for a loss back near the 10.
The ultimate compliment. I respect you so much that I'll take my strength and I will go and run the football. I will not throw. The ultimate compliment. Florida State, normally a passing team, would never hesitate to throw in this situation. But out of respect for the Aggies, they run it.
Player from the end zone. Letting it fly actually from the goal line. Here's Smith near the 50. And he too loses yardage on the return. 41-yard punt, a loss of a yard on the run back. Reggie Freeman makes the tackle. He already has a recovery in this game. Florida State in the final rankings the last 5 years, Terry, take a look. Second, third, fourth, fifth. They're 5th, coming into this game, and really if you wanted to work it out, they could finish as high as second by the end of today. Aggies with Hill back in the game and just back to the line of scrimmage.
Going back to that Florida State, when we talked to them this week, we sensed that the Miami game absolutely took their heart out of them. And they had the week off, and then I even told you, I said, Jim, there's no way they were going to win that Florida game. Sure enough, Bobby Bowden, he admitted that himself. We knew it was very hard for us to get there. And this game, I think they've tried to talk them into getting ready for it emotionally. I think it's a real struggle ever since they lost to Miami.
2nd and 11. Hill, one-on-one tackle by Mr. Marvin Jones, who has been quiet in this game. He did not start again because of a curfew problem earlier this week, but he is the first freshman or sophomore.
Youngest.
Yep, youngest ever to make it as a finalist for the Lombardi Award. His brother Fred was a top linebacker for Florida State back in the 80s. Fred now a policeman down in Miami. But Marvin Jones making the play on that one. 3rd and 9 for the Aggies from midfield. Richardson, this one not anywhere near the target. Tony Harrison.
Richardson's pass intended.
McCorvey was with him. One-on-one coverage.
Tony Harrison incomplete.
3rd time today we've seen that sprint out. It's the same route. A guy out in the flat about 10 yards, then you take the slot guy, take him behind him and go to the corner. And what's happening is they're running so close to the sideline, there's no room for Bucky to get the ball in there. He can't drop it in, so he just throws it out of bounds.
Deep to receive.
Davis. Buckley won't try for this one, and it rolls into the end zone. 2:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Florida State will bring it out to the 20. The Aggie students who stand throughout the game. The 12th man tradition at Texas A&M.
I have a nephew, Chris Bradshaw, that looked around and searched for a lot of schools, smart kid. And he's now a sophomore at Texas A&M, and having tried to recruit Bucky Richardson to go to Louisiana Tech, there's another connection. And then trying to transfer from Louisiana Tech to Florida State. In my sophomore year, there's my Florida State connection.
You got all the bases
Yeah,
covered,
I got it covered.
Yep. FSU from the 20. Play action for Weldon. Man is open. It's Baker just past the 30. He got the foot down. And a first down for the Seminoles.
If you look at that pass, and if you just put your cameras on Casey Weldon and you watch his technique that time, then you see the comparisons with Montana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball. His back foot hits. Boom, the ball's out to the sideline. Look at this. One sets up, good mechanics. The ball on time, a perfect throw. When he's balanced and when things are right, you can see the resemblance. He looks like him in the helmet. He looks exactly like Montana.
Tiger McMillan is the tailback in for Jackson, and here's McMillan. Sam Tiger McMillan trying to get outside, and Thromes got him along with Atkinson.
Yeah, see, this is good defense, Jim, because if you stretch out speed in a bad field, a wet field, speed can't cut back and hurt you. But if you try to stretch out power, power can turn up and get some yardage on you.
Give him a yard on that play. An overcast day in Dallas.
I met Bobby Bowden the other day. It was like a guy meeting his hero. We sat down and got to talking football, and I mean, it was just great to meet someone you'd heard so much about it, that's so genuine, so real, and so open.
2nd and 9, and Weldon's pass out of reach for Warren Hart, the backup tight end.
That's just great coverage. Marlon Haynes, the backup free safety, strong safety actually, he took one guy and the linebacker took the other, and there really was no choice then for Weldon. He just had to throw it away.
Terry, we saw that shot a moment ago of the Ferris wheel in the background, the Texas State Fairgrounds. You actually came here to the Texas State Fair this year and walked away with a few gifts, huh?
Yeah, wait till you hear this story. This is a dandy.
3rd and 9.
Blitz, here it comes.
Weldon tries to beat it, lofting it incomplete.
Oh, that's not Weldon's fault. That time, number 88 gave up on the route.
McCorvey was the man. Kez McCorvey.
I came here to this state fair and brought my little girls, Rachel and Aaron, and I wanted to win them a teddy bear, but I didn't know how to do it, so I went to the football throw and found out that I put down about $5 and got about 20 throws and didn't win anything. And I got mad and put down $5 more, and I tore that thing up, and I got myself like 30 bears. You got to get a little one, then a medium, and then a big one, and I had to get garbage sacks to take them all home. It was great. Kids love me.
Fair catch. And a shaky one at that for Kevin Smith. So you were 0 for 20, and then you really got on fire.
That was embarrassed. You know what was even better than that? I got this huge crowd of people around me, but this guy I'm feeding all this money to, he doesn't understand. He just thinks they're there.
He doesn't recognize you?
No, he doesn't recognize me and all these people. He thinks they're waiting in line to give him money to try to win some of these bears. But I could have stayed there, I swear to you, Jim, and wiped this guy clean. I just couldn't get him home.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Took a few of them home that day.
I mean, it was great.
Look at the play action now. Richardson trying to cross him up 1st down, but will not have a chance to release it. Dan Footman was in the area. He was quite a player, this Dan Footman. Had a serious knee operation he's coming back from, Barry.
Yeah, a young guy that in training camp they couldn't practice him but once. And he would miss out one morning on the running game, so he would practice one day on the running game, skip the passing game that afternoon, the rushing techniques he would learn. The next day he would skip the running, and then he would do the passing, so he could get, you know, kind of get a full season in like that. But they didn't expect him back. He's back, and now they're wanting, when the season's over with, his rest, and he'll be able to get back, you know, as close to 100% as possible.
2nd and 16. Richardson completes it at the 45 to Harrison.
I love that route. The greatest route in all of football is an in route. It's simple. There's nothing to it. You're going to see Harrison, top of your screen. Watch this. Just come down. Look at this. It's that simple. Take this guy and do something with him. I don't know what you're going to do with him, but do it with him and just come across the middle. Hope I got the right guy. Yes. Yes.
This time.
But isn't that great route? It runs, what it does, it runs through zones and away from man coverage, and it's just a beautiful route. My favorite route of my whole career was the deep end.
1st and 10, approaching a minute to go in the 3rd. Hill gets tangled up with his own teammate, Carter, and held on to the football this time. Derek Brooks wrestled him down after a loss of 4.
Doug Carter tried to help him out, but he got knocked back into Hill. It looked like a good play was going to be established to the outside, but Hill was knocked back into it.
Brooks with a defensive work for the Seminoles.
The Cotton Bowl. Can you imagine being 12 years old and wanting to come here? I would end up being over there in the end zone somewhere on a bus, like a 4-hour drive, but I would have seen my hero Roger play for Navy. That would have been great.
2nd and 14. Pump fake.
Got him.
Richardson. He's got Harrison out there, but coming over to make the play is
Levon
Brown with the INT. Chalk up another turnover. That's 7 now against A&M.
Now, you know, of course, I take the side of the quarterback. This ball should have been laid out a little more. But watch it again and watch how the receiver, even though he saw he could not catch this ball, just go inside and prevent the interception. Look, he stands there, he waits on it. He knows the safety, Levon Brown's coming over. Just get in front of him, make sure the ball is not intercepted.
Levon Brown from Moorhaven, Florida with the interception.
Hey, you know what else is at stake here today, Jim? Recruiting pride. Texas folks claim that Texas has better athletes, and Florida claims that Florida has better athletes.
Well, Florida State has 3 Texas kids on the roster. The Aggies really all homegrown Texans. 1st and 10, 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. And a hard-earned run of 6 for Edgar Bennett.
First on the play by number 95, Sam Adams. Second down, 5.
Take a look at 44. left of your screen. 44 coming inside. Coryat, look, stands up Baker, the center, throws him down, comes back after some more.
Terry, that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Florida State 7 and Texas A&M 2. CBS Sports coverage of the 56th Annual Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic continues after this message and a word from your local station.